So here in the container, back in this container div, and you see again in the code, I can see that my nav div goes from here to here. And I could insert a comment here if I want to keep track of the nav div, but I think that one's pretty clear. Now I want to add a series of divs here after my nav div and before the close of the container div. So I'm leaving my content for our container text here for now. But I'm going to add 4 new divs, one for each of the images that will appear on this page. And let's go back for just a moment. If I click on index and remind ourselves what we're doing here, right? Ultimately, we're going to make that nav bar look very different. But right now, I'm creating these containers, the 4 containers that you see here that hold our image and the text that goes with them. So back here, between the nav bar and the close of the container div, I want to add 4 more divs. So these will be relatively easy. Each of these divs I'm going to name after the painting and the text that goes with it. So this first one we'll call Berry. Now I want another div, but I want to make sure that it's not inside the Berry div. So let me put it after that closed div tag in the code, hit the return key. Now I want another div. This one we'll call Leaves. And again, using my mouse and my cursor to make sure I'm placing this div where I want it. Adding a little space so I can see what I'm doing. By the way, when you add space into the HTML code like this, you don't actually change the spacing in the design area at all. So I can add another ID. This one we'll call Waiting. And then again, the last of the 4, Family. Now again, you could name these anything you want, but I find it easier to remember if I name my divs based on the content that's going to go inside of them. So let's go ahead and add some content to each of these divs. In the Berry div, I can delete those words. You see my div is still there. I'm going to insert a couple of images. So I want to be inside my Robin Eschner Paintings folder, inside the Paintings folder, and inside there I have an Images folder that has a collection of images we'll use on this page. The first one I want to insert is the Berry painting picture. So let's call this Berry Lopez Inspired. Again, just adding alternate text. And after that image, I'm just going to add a return, insert a new image, and I'm going to use the text berry.gif. Now I do have a rollover effect in the final version of this site, and I promise I will show you how to do rollover images in part 2 of this series. But for now, I didn't want to add that complexity when we're on such a complex topic already. So I'm just going to insert a single image for each of these text items. And again, you should always use alt text. And scrolling down, now I'm going to put the second image in here and its text. So I can go ahead and delete the placeholder text, choose image. The second one is leaves, so I want the leaves painting. Choose. This painting is called Leaves and Wings. And here's a little tip. If you select this now, because I know I'm about to add a second image with the same alt text, I can copy it here, click OK, add my return, and now when I insert the text that goes with leaves, I can just paste the alt text into place. We'll do that again for waiting. And after we're done with getting all of these images in place, we can start positioning these divs so that they're side by side. And again, adding the text that goes underneath it. And that button just says waiting because it's a series of paintings with the theme waiting. And finally, the family. You want the family painting. And then text family. Okay,